Welcome back. We are very excited that you are progressing down the path of enlightenment in positivity, where your thinking will change forever.
You will now have learned that negative thinking has major risks, including early death, heart attacks, cancer, strokes, and increased infections. And now you know about mind chatter and its power over your decisions and the magic questions to recognize negative thoughts. In this module, we're going to teach you the 3-step process for eliminating negative thoughts and replacing them with positive alternatives.
It's important for you to work through the modules progressively, as the modules will not make sense if you don't have the previous ones, and we progressively build on the existing understanding of each module. Every one of us has to deal with both our own negative thoughts and being bombarded by negativity from others every day.
One aspect of positive thinking that we need to discuss is the incorrect perception that people cannot change the way they think. This itself is a need because it is untrue and fails the magic questions. How you think has been formed out of the habits of many years, and you learn a process of thinking that becomes automatic. However, any learned habit can be relearned and replaced with a better alternative habit if you choose to do that.
A good example is of phobias where there is an inappropriate fear about things that are not dangerous, like phobias about green frogs or spiders or confined spaces or heights. With counselling, this abnormal thought process can be replaced quickly and have a different series of thoughts and reactions in its place, and then the phobia disappears.
In exactly the same way, we are going to be using the same proven psychological techniques to replace any habits of negative thinking with positive alternatives. This is a learned habit that is reinforced and strengthened with practice and persistence. As it becomes established, your new productive habits becomes the status quo, and you create an automatic habit of positive thinking.
So, any reactions to difficult situations that are not helpful can be changed. This results in having positive, supportive, and outcome-focused reactions rather than frustration or anger, which typically makes things worse.
That's right. So now let's move on to the actual processes for taking a negative thought that you have had and changing it into a positive alternative. To learn these techniques, we first need to share with you the different types of mental processing that affects how each of us learns best.
There are 3 types of processing that we all use to different degrees, and understanding these will help you understand how you learn best, but also will help you when you are trying to show or teach others new skills.
So it is very important. The 3 ways that we can process information is visually, auditory, and kinesthetically. The people that use auditory processing learn best with sounds, speech, listening, and like to hear the information being explained to them directly. They will often use terms like, "That sounds great, I hear what you were saying, I like the sounds of that, listen here, and I like to sound things out."
Auditory processors are quite happy right now because they are happy with us talking about all this, because this verbal presentation is their ideal form of learning. So if you are really happy so far, you may be predominantly an auditory processor.
However, the visual processed amongst you will not be so happy, because visual learners like to see the information, they like to see pictures or graphs, and they like to be shown visual representations of the information. So here for you is the visual processing that will hit your buttons. You will make comments like,
"Let me see this. I see what you mean," or "That looks fine to me," or "I like the look of that."
or "Let's look at it from a different perspective." Having seen the visual, do you feel a lot better and understand it better and feel more satisfied? If so, you are probably a visual processor.
This is the most common type of processing type.
And finally, kinesthetic processors are the people that like to feel, do, and touch things and link their emotions to the activity.
Kinesthetic people use the terms like, "That feels right to me. I'll just try and get my head around that," or "You're all heart. I get a good feeling about that." They like to do physical activity, and they learn their processing through using their physical hands or getting their hands dirty.
They like to be sold on the principle and will keep gathering information until they feel right about it. If you tend to operate like this, then you are probably a kinesthetic person.
People commonly are a blend of different processing types, so you may be able to relate to one or more of the categories.
However, knowing what your most dominant one is will be the learning style that suits you best, and this helps you in any learning situation.
Because negative thoughts occur rapidly, a fast process is needed to deal with them. We therefore have created an effective, fast, 3-step process that is stop, drop and roll.
The stop part is where the negative thought is stopped and prevented from escaping as words or actions. This then gives you the time to properly assess it, and if you decide it does qualify as a nit, you then drop it to get rid of it, and then you roll that negative into a positive alternative to take its place.
Negative thoughts cannot just be removed and a vacant space left. Otherwise, the thoughts will tend to reoccur and fill that void. A nit does need to be replaced with a positive alternative to avoid the chance of the negative thought returning again.
So let's run through the stop, drop and roll process for the different processing types. For visual processes, you may see the thoughts typed as words on a computer or marching across your brain. You need to stop the words by freezing them, throwing a net over them or putting them into a box.
When you decide they need to be dropped or destroyed, you can then shoot them with a bazooka, burn them with a flamethrower, or melt them with fire.
You can have Pac-Men marching across the screen and chomping them up, or just press the delete button, whatever works for you. If you're an auditory person, you can imagine the words like a tape recording or an audio track, and you just press the stop button. You can then destroy the words by turning the volume down to 0, rewinding the tape with a high-pitched
sound,
and then replace them with more positive words.
If you're kinesthetic, it is the emotional effects that you want to be feeling, like hurt, dismay, disbelief about the thoughts or the situation. The emotion needs to be recognized, and then you need to detach yourself from it. Then you can replace that emotion with a positive one.
Kinesthetic people will usually have visual or auditory processing skills as well. However, if the kinesthetic process is strong, it is the emotion that needs to be recognized and dealt with in this process. The third step of this process is to roll the negative thought or nit into a positive thought, or a positive affirmative thought, or PAT for short. The important thing about this process is that you need to find the positive alternative that will prevent the original thought from ever returning.
For example, if you make a mistake and think to yourself, "Oh, I'm so stupid," your nit filter immediately recognizes the nit and stops it in its tracks. You then confirm, yes, this is definitely a nit, and so I will drop it and replace it with a positive alternative like, "I'm a very clever and skillful person. I'm just new at learning this task and mistakes can be expected. So I'm getting better and better with every attempt."
The positive alternative to "I am so fat" may be, "I am an attractive and beautiful person and I'm taking the active steps to achieve my ideal weight over the next 2 months and I feel great in the process."
If your thought was, "I can't do this," the positive alternative would be to say, "Says who? Of course I can do this. Other people can do this. I'll just keep practicing until I get it right."
To practice this for yourself, what we want you to do right now is to stop the module and take these negative thoughts and create your own positive affirmative thoughts to replace them. And these are, "I always have bad luck."
"Everyone is talking about me."
"No one likes me."
"I'm unable to lose weight."
"This project will never be completed on time."
"I'm so busy I haven't even had lunch."
"I hate this job."
"Joe blogs never pulls her weight."
These work processes are rubbish. So here are some possible options for the nits that we presented before.
"I always have bad luck."
Well, the alternative to that would be, "I make my own luck and with a positive attitude I will attract luck as positive thoughts attract positive outcome."
What about "Everyone is talking about me"?
Well, the alternative would be, "What other people talk about is none of my business. I know I can hold my head up high as these rumors are not true."
What's the alternative for "No one likes me"?
Of course some people will like me. With my wonderful attitude I will be a joy to be around.
"I'm unable to lose weight."
My attempts to lose weight have not worked yet, but I just need the right information and put in the effort and I will succeed.
"This project will never be completed on time."
While the timeframes look difficult, we need to be creative to see how we can work more effectively with each other or get extra support to bring this project in on time.
"I'm so busy I haven't even had time for lunch."
Isn't it great that the business is so good and so in such demand that we are so busy? That means our jobs are safe.
"I hate this job."
Phew. Don't want to ever hear that one, do we? "I am grateful for this job to pay my mortgage and hobbies. If I work well, I will be promoted to a much better position. Providing good service will give me a good reference to achieve better work or a better job elsewhere."
"Joe blogs never pulls her weight."
Jo tries as hard as she can, but with our support or extra training, we can all work effectively as a team. She certainly makes up for her shortcomings by supporting everyone in other ways.
These work processes are rubbish.
Obviously, all these processes have been tested previously, and unless I can create a better system that works more effectively, this is the system that we need to be happy with and use effectively.
Now that you know how to recognize NITs and the 3-step process to convert them into positive alternatives, you have the skills and you have the power to dramatically improve yourself, your relationships, your workplace, and everyone around you. We really hope that you enjoyed this important module and hope you got enormous benefit from it. And we look forward to seeing you in the next module.